name's Rebecca and welcome to the reading vlog. This will be a reading vlog slash getting all the Christmassy decorating stuff up, making cute Christmas crafts and baking and all the cozy things. But what I will be reading in this reading vlog is two kind of odd, weird books. The first one is Sky Daddy. I actually have this one signed by Kate herself. Here it is. So cool. This one is basically about a woman who is obsessed with planes and kind of has a sexual fixation of planes. And I believe she wants to die in a plane crash as well. So it'll be a very interesting book to read. It's also based in the Bay Area. Kate herself is local to the Bay Area. So that will be a nice book. The other book that I am listening to, I have about 4.5 hours left of it, is Butter. And it's kind of like a mix between if, let's say, Julia Child murdered a bunch of guys she dated, but it's also a critique on misogyny, gender roles in Japan. It's been interesting. It's been kind of slow, but I feel like I wanted to add it to my reading vlog because I have a lot of thoughts about this book. There's a lot of cozy things I want to do while listening to an audiobook. So let's get through Butter and start Sky Daddy. And yeah, it'll be a nice, cozy week of reading. But the first thing I want to do is take down all of my Halloween decorations. I might leave a few fall decorations up and then get my Christmas decorations together. Few different things I'm doing. It's Sunday afternoon. I had a nice morning. We went to breakfast. We walked to breakfast, went to the grocery store, just did normal stuff. And now I'm going to be starting Sky Daddy. And then I've been listening to Butter. I'm making a Christmas paper chain, and then I have a new Christmas tree that I need to set up. I've never had a full Christmas tree before, so I just ordered one from Home Depot a little bit ago, and I need to set it up. But yeah, Butter, reading update for Butter. I feel like a woman who is in jail for killing all of those men, she feels like the tension between her and the other women in the story feels very pick me, feels very on the themes of trad wife. It's really hating women, not understanding women, possibly the tension of not being able to have those close female bonds. And because of that, being the way that she is, it's a very interesting book. It's just so slow. I literally started it months ago, put it on pause, and I'm getting through it so slowly, but it is really interesting because I feel like the characters are extremely complex. Just a lot of tension of oh, these women couldn't handle being mothers and wives and also working, and that's on them. And no one's really questioning the systems in which they live. This is based in Japan. I think it's a really good commentary on a lot of things being talked about even in the US. Motherhood and the value of that, having it all and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna continue listening to that. I have little over 3 hours left of that while I do all my little Christmassy chores I have to do. But yeah, let's get started, chatting. people, I'm going to at least try to make some Christmas paper chains. Paper chains are like the easiest Christmas craft to make, and I feel like it makes the home look like so much more like cozy and whimsy. I think it was like a couple years ago we went to New York for Christmas, and I just loved how like the inside of, like, it sounds so weird, pizza restaurants were decorated for Christmas, like pizza restaurants and diners, and it had this like classic cozy vibe, and paper chains were one of the things. I've already cut up some papers, so what I'm thinking is I'm gonna make one chain that's kind of like two-toned and kind of see how that looks, because I can always add more. I can buy more of the same paper. I just got it on Amazon. And then another one which is three-toned, so it's like looks a little bit more dynamic. This one will look maybe a little bit more, I don't know, like classy, or like Ralph Lauren Christmas or something. It's such a easy craft, hopefully, so I can't mess it up too much. Tuesday. I work the afternoon/evening shift on Tuesday, so I have the mornings to myself. Evening aftercare therapy group does potluck once a month, so I'm gonna make something for them because I haven't baked for so long, and I feel like this pumpkin bread is gonna be like super easy to bring and to make, and to just like get me in that baking mode, because I just feel like I just need to like start baking, because it feels like it, like in my head it's harder than how it actually is. So I feel like this is easy. I'm just gonna add eggs, oil, and water to this and like put it in the oven. It's already preheating, so it should be fine. But yeah, yesterday I went to, let me get the book actually. Yesterday I went to a book event for this book, Vera or Faith, which is a fiction book, and I went there with my mom. We had a great time. I got it signed, lovely, at this like local bookstore here in the Bay Area. But yeah, that was really fun, but I didn't get too much reading done. I've read a little bit of Sky Daddy, and I've been listening to Butter, but let me get all my stuff out to start baking. Sky Daddy has been such an interesting book. I'm really liking it. The main character is like obsessed with planes and believes that like her destiny is to die in a plane crash, but she kind of works not quite a minimum wage job, but like I think she makes like $30 an hour, lives in the Bay. That's like not that much at all. So she's really scrimping by and saving to fly as much as possible so that eventually she will die in a plane crash. What I find really interesting about it is that she is so logical. It's just like the most normal thing ever. She's not scared. She's just like kind of just like a complete weirdo. Honestly, a character that is just like that authentic and that honest about herself and her life is really lovely to read and to follow along the story. Even obviously if you are like, hey, maybe you should like go to therapy or like you need some help, it's just like you just like go with it, kind of like a fantasy book. So that's been really lovely to read. And then I'm finishing up with Butter, which I think with a story like Butter, it is so slow, and I think what I need to do with these types of books, because I actually am enjoying it, is just really dedicate just like a lot of time to it, because I think if I like stop and go and I don't have that much time to read, like reading in like 15-20 minute sections, it's just not gonna work. But reading it all, like listening to it, first of all I went from like physically reading it to listening to it, which is helpful, and then dedicating more time for these types of books is more helpful. But the author yesterday, we were
talking, people are asking him questions. He, also is a professor. I think it's Columbia or NYU. His writing classes. People are kind of asking him about what he thinks of AI. And he was saying that he's not too worried about writing being impacted. Like, obviously it will be, but like his kind of writing, he was more concerned about like reading, like people not reading anymore, not having the attention span to like read a full book anymore. And really talking about specifically with like younger people, like my age or younger, like obviously people are reading less, but obviously in my circle, like all my friends and like people in my life read so much, and I do think that like certain kinds of books are really not legitimized. Like weird girl books, like smut, like romantasy, romance. Truly, like, do not think that those are like viewed, and I'm not saying that author felt this way, but like in society are viewed as like real reading. But those are like gonna help your attention span, maybe not just as much, but a good amount versus these like more legitimate books. And a lot of people I know, like myself, read a mix of like these classics like Kafka, and then read like a smutty romance, or like, and then read like whatever, right? Like, it's not like, you can read different types of books. But I'm just like curious what other people think of, I do think that the people who do read a lot, but less people actually read in general. I think any kind of reading we should be encouraging, because I know for me, like my attention span is not as good, and that's partially why I started reading more again, because I just like didn't have good attention span. Added the mix off camera. I don't know why I turned off the camera. It smells really good. Oh my gosh. I do feel like we are so niched out, and we're spending so much time online on this YouTube video. But I feel like we just like don't have a true understanding of people's experiences that aren't in our like very close like internet niche group, especially our age group, because like boomers are all on Facebook basically. Some are on YouTube, but okay, my oven's ready. But it's just so interesting. I'm like, everyone just needs to touch grass like so much more. I feel like go out, like do something in your community, like do something on like the library events, or just in some other kinds of things that you normally wouldn't, because I just feel like just everyone needs to touch grass, because no one has a good understanding of like other generations or like other things. That's my perspective, because like I think it will benefit everybody to just like go out of your house and do something. I know how like it's so nice to be in the house, but like get out of the house, please, because I just feel like we're so disconnected from each other. It's really sad. But that's my soapbox. I'm gonna finish mixing this and then put it in the oven. It needs to be in the oven for like an hour, so perfect. I need to get this done right away. It already smells, well, it smells like pumpkin pie, which I love pumpkin pie. Cool, okay. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. I finished butter last night, and the pumpkin bread was a hit. My thoughts on butter are a little bit complicated. I've been listening to Brandon Sanderson's lectures on writing novels and writing fantasy, and it actually helped me organize my thoughts a little bit more. So for butter, I think one of my issues, and probably an issue that maybe more like Western readers would have with this book, is that it seems to sort of like make these promises it doesn't really fulfill. The way that it is set up, and also the way that it is kind of marketed, is that it's like somewhat of a mystery, like a murder mystery. Not really a mystery, but kind of like not who murdered these people or how they died, because that's very clear right away.
but kind of what is behind Kaji, the woman who like murdered these men. What's like behind, like why, like did she actually do it, or was that kind of on them? I personally don't think she murdered anybody. Like them dying in the way that they died is like, I would absolutely not consider that murder. The way that it's set up is having you have this expectation for like getting information and figuring things out, but that's really not what happens, especially like the second half of the book. It kind of turns just more into like a character study, a lit fic, like you're kind of going in different directions with this book, but never really resolving anything. Which I think would have been more fine if it was set up in a way that like this is just going to be a lit fic. That's just the way that it is. Kind of like My Brilliant Friend, kind of just really dives into the characters themselves. So if you liked My Brilliant Friend, you might like this. I would say just don't think about the murder or any of that stuff, because you're gonna have this kind of like expectation that's gonna be like a little bit more thrilling. It's not thrilling at all. It's very slow, but it is really interesting. And it does have a very interesting take on like gender roles, expectation, food, like being skinny, like what are these like beauty expectations for women in Japan. There was this whole, part of like, oh, Kaji is like so fat, and why would any man like find her attractive? And then in reality, like she's actually like would be considered skinny in the US, is like very telling. And then our main character like is honestly like underweight, and then like gains maybe like 5-10 pounds, and everyone like freaks out. So there's like that part of it which I found really interesting, and like how her like boyfriend kind of interacts with her. There's like a lot of layers to this book, but it is just so slow and it doesn't really like land. So I gave it 3 stars. I did enjoy it, but it was a bit to get through, and it was like 400 and something pages, and it felt like a 700 page book, like an 800 page book. Like it could have just been sped up a little bit more, because yeah, like the ending, I was like, yeah, cool, it ended. Though I do love the characters, so yeah, I don't know if I would recommend this to most people, but not terrible. I think specific types of people, more like lit fic people, people who are really interested in like analysis of like gender roles and beauty, specifically in Japan, might like this, but it was a little hard to get through, I'll be honest. Now I might go back to my Stormlight Archive book I've been listening to slowly, speaking of long books, to listen to while I get some things done. Like I need to get stuff done today, but I do want to read and like have a good time too. So yeah. My last thought before I start getting things done with Sky Daddy, this might have been not the best time to read this book. I like it, but right now, like the air traffic controllers aren't getting paid, and I have a flight on Saturday, and my husband's out of town, and he's like flying in tonight. So there's a lot of talk about plane crashes. So just a little bit of an increase in my anxiety, but not too much. But it's just maybe it wasn't the best time to read this, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying it. I want to finish it before I get on my plane, because reading this in the airport or on a plane would be super awkward. So my thoughts on Sky Daddy. I think I'm a little over halfway through. I'm loving it. It's really interesting. I find that the character, obviously, like there's some parts of the book where I'm like,
Ay, ay, ay. Ooh. But a lot of the book, I just have so much empathy for her, and you can really like feel how Kate, the writer, has like so much empathy for the characters and is able to like put you in their brains and like the reasoning. I also, because I think the story could have been written really, really terribly, could have been written in that like TLC way, whereas like, oh, look at this weirdo. So I liked that. I think they even reference like those types of shows, and she doesn't really relate with those people. And I feel like it shows how this obsession that she has with planes and this like erotic fixation she has, almost like romantic fixation she has with planes, has impacted her life, and how she really has wanted to have like a normal life and normal relationships, and she's tried like many times, and it just hasn't really worked, and she's really figuring out, how do I kind of have any sort of friendship or like understanding of other people. I think she's sort of learning how to share bits of herself, where she can somewhat have these authentic friendships and have people not be creeped out by her or freaked out by her. And she has these people who don't maybe fully understand her, but really, care for her. Whenever I've lived somewhere or currently living in an area where the book is written in, or the book is based in, it really bothers me when you can tell the author just hasn't spent that much time or hasn't really done their research. I feel like a lot in California. Kate, she's from the Bay Area. You can tell she's from the Bay Area. And the places that she referenced is like, yeah, I feel like you'd only reference those places if you really, like an actual person would go to like Burlingame to like look at the planes, or like Millbrae for like this friend's random party thing, or going to this coffee shop in like Daly City, and not just like San Francisco, San Francisco, San Francisco. Even though she does live in San Francisco, I think that was very like realistic. It's been like such a unique read, but also like a quick read too, which has been refreshing after Butter, which literally took me months to finish. But I'm going to continue on this, and hopefully I can show you guys more of this guy. I'm back from my trip and I've finished both books. I finished Sky Daddy on my trip. This is probably not like a vacation read. I'll just say, first of all, the cover and then also the content of the book. But I really liked Sky Daddy. I did give it 4 stars. It is definitely not for everybody, and definitely not for anybody who's scared of flying, or anxious about flying. So that I would say is a trigger warning. But I really liked it. I thought that Kate writes really like no other author, even like weird girl books. It seems very different. Yeah. And I did go to a couple bookstores while I was in Minnesota. So I owe you guys a mini book haul. The first one my friend got for me, it's Jane Austen's Table. It just has like Jane Austen inspired things. Like this one is Box Hill Picnic Pies, Upper Crust Mushroom Pies. And this one was at a bookstore coffee shop we went to. I cannot remember the name. And then at another bookstore, which was like used and new books, I got, I think it's Annihilation. And this is a sci-fi. It's like a expedition of 4 women, one of whom's a psychologist. So that's like what made me interested in this. And the cover is like so freaking cool. So I don't know too much about this one, but it is a series. So if I like it, there's more to it, and all the covers look really cool. And then this next one is also a sci-fi based in, I think in like 100 years or 50 years in San Francisco, and California is now its own country, and there was like a civil war, but it's basically about these robots in this ghost kitchen, kind of like rebelling and kind of creating food for all of the people in San Francisco. But that's all I have for this vlog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one when hopefully I've done even more Christmas decorations.